if you think the fees are outrageous enough in Oregon to live here, to drive here, other things, you ain't seen nothing yet. You've heard about the whole plot to tax drivers by the mile. They've talked about it for at least a decade. Well, now the headline coming out of KOIN is ODOT to roll out mileage fee plan test, and they're going to do it in 2015. Oregon's going to be one of the first states to implement the program. They're already talking about it being implemented in the near future, despite the fact that this is just a test. So they're going to test with the use of over 5,000 volunteers. And again, they were talking about this stuff at least 10 years ago, at least since 2003. But it looks like this is something that they're much closer to now. And there's a lot of concern. If you look at the comment section, I'm going to leave the link down below. People are pissed off about this. If you're on Facebook, if you go to the KOIN Facebook page, there's already 500 comments on the story. Everybody's pissed off about it. One person said they were for it, and they said, you know, just kidding. I actually already moved away from Oregon. Thank God I did. You know, there's a lot of comments like that. There are people that are looking at this going, what the fuck? Even people with hybrid vehicles. And there are some people saying that this whole thing kind of defeats the whole purpose of getting the hybrid vehicle, you know, to save on gas consumption, because they're going to get their money another way. So this is actually enraging some drivers of hybrid vehicles. Drivers pay 30 cents per gallon in gas taxes every time they stop to fill up. That adds up to hundreds of millions of dollars per year, but ODOT says that's not enough to maintain the roads. And on the local level, they want the street tax. And that's on the local level. And so there's just all this focus in Portland and in Oregon. We need to get more money for the roads. And if you look at the mass migration patterns to Oregon, there's a lot of people here that have come from other places more expensive. So I think there's this attitude in the air, you know, down in Salem, as well as City Hall in Portland. These people have come from places where they've spent a lot of money to live there. Why don't we just turn up the heat just a little bit? And a lot of this, obviously, as a lot of you know, is money that is wasted in some way, shape, or form. ODOT has a reputation of wasting money. So I'm going to leave the link down below. The fee, 1.5 cents a mile, will roll out July 1st, 2015 through 5,000 volunteer participants. ODOT and the volunteers will see how it works, and then the Oregon legislature will decide when it will be expanded to the rest of the state's drivers. On next week's edition of Outside the Box, I'm going to cover this, get some additional information. I will also report on Hank Paulson, the former Treasury Secretary of the Federal Reserve, visiting Portland a few months ago, recommending that Portland be a city to implement this type of a program. So the focus is on Portland, and the focus is on the whole state of Oregon, which is mostly Republican, even though Democrats are rolling this out. So things are starting to get very, very interesting. The link to the story is down below.